Video game mods are interesting. As a general and baseline definition, they are additional enhancements to your favorite games by implementing items, effects, changes, and graphical improvements, all made by independent, creative, and passionate individuals for the sole purpose of extending the pleasure of playing a game. But every once in a while, you come across a mod that goes above and beyond to show that mods are more than just small enhancements. Every once in a while, you come across something like the Forgotten City. To be brief, The Forgotten City is an impressive murder mystery quest mod which includes several new underground areas with striking visuals, a cast of colorful NPCs, and a riveting, well-written story to tie them all together. This all begins whenever you come to a major Skyrim city or town as early as level 5. A courier will track you down like Liam Neeson in order to deliver you a letter from someone named Cassia.
I've been looking for you.
As soon as you accept it, the voice of the sender will begin to narrate it.
Riches beyond imagining. I found these words inscribed in ancient dwarven ruins in the Reach. I believe they mark the entrance to a forgotten city. My brother went in a few days ago and hasn't returned. I need someone I can count on to go in after him and bring him back alive. I've heard great things about you, which is why I'm asking for your help. I'll be waiting for you in the ruins. Please hurry. And remember, riches beyond imagining. Cassia.
The ruins mentioned in the letter are located in the Reach, just south of Markarth. The entrance sits right underneath a waterfall, and once inside, there are green plants growing under strange dwarven lights. Delving deeper, you'll come to a large room where Cassia is standing at the far end of it, next to a large hole. Simply state who you are and what she wants from you.
That's close enough. Who are you? Oh, it's you. I'm so glad you're here. Look, I don't know how much time we have left. My brother went down this shaft a few days ago and I'm worried. I need you to go in after him and bring him back to me alive. It could be dangerous, but if anyone can do it, it's you. Now, are you ready?
It then becomes your mission to delve further into the ruins to retrieve Cassia's brother, Altrius. Once you go down, there is no way to return unless you complete the quest, reload a previous save, use mods, or cheat. At the end of an ancient hallway littered with skeletons and relics sits the gate to the city. Upon first playthrough, this area was, to be very honest, breathtaking. The first thing you may notice is the glowing dwarven ball hanging above the city. It's nothing new, but still mesmerizing. The streets are filled with charred corpses and ruined remnants of civilization. And at the center of this already depressing scene is Cassia's brother hanging underneath the dead tree. These morbid sights, accompanied by the eerie, dark atmosphere, further emphasized by the music, gives the whole scene a very somber and unsettling feel that prompts the question, what the hell happened here? Cassia's brother left a suicide note that hopefully answers some questions.
To whoever reads this, I am so sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, that you will share my fate. I have spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. But there are only two choices: death or the door to the house on the lake. I made the mistake of opening that door. In the end, all I learned is that some things are worse than death. I urge you to learn from my mistakes. Best to take your own life now, than find out what awaits you beyond that door. I've locked it and hidden the key. I'll guard it with my eternal soul if I have to. But I fear even that will not be enough. For the lake house calls to you. And when it does, you must not listen. Altreus.
Now you must make your way to the top of the citadel to retrieve the lake house key. The entire time, Altreus warns you that continuing is a grave mistake.
Please, understand. I locked the lake house door to stop you from making the same mistake I made.
After obtaining the key, head to the lake house and discover a note written by the city's old Jarl.
7 years ago, I discovered this wondrous city uninhabited. Others soon followed, heeding my invitation, and our community grew and prospered under my rule. But as I write this, I am alone once again, for my subjects have been the victims of an unspeakable atrocity. This is why, at the expense of my own life, I must open a portal that will take you into the past, before all this began. Beloved reader, you must go back, investigate what set this atrocity in motion, and prevent it by any means necessary.
A magic portal then opens behind you, and once you exit the lake house, something happens that quite literally gave me chills the first time I played. The city is restored to its former glory from several years ago. You have traveled back in time. It's brighter, lively, and repopulated. You can admire the city like you're some kind of Marty McFly, but to continue your quest, go speak to the Jarl at the top of the citadel.
There's a face I don't recognize. Welcome to my city. I'm Jarl Metellus.
He tells you about something called the Dwarves' Law, an ancient law that forbids anyone from performing actions that are objectively immoral within the city. Basically no hurting, killing, or stealing. Any action that would place a bounty on you in the base game. Everyone is scared of the Dwarves' Law, and as a result, citizens are obedient to the Jarl and are non-confrontational.
The truth is, I've used the dwarves' law to frighten my people into obedience, and it's worked so far.
Doors are left unlocked, there is no crime and no action to enact change out of fear of breaking the law. However peaceful it may seem, there's serious social animosity brewing between the workers and the Citadel residents.
Just look at him. Yeah, you're a really big man, aren't you? Milk drinker.
This culture of trepidation is traced back to the one line in the Dwarves' Law.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. We think that breaking the law here will cause some kind of event.
It then becomes your mission to investigate the city, interrogate its residents, and determine who will break the Dwarves' Law, altering the grim fate of the Forgotten City. If you fail, or you break the Dwarves' Law, the lights darken, and a booming voice quotes the phrase,
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
The dwarven centurions placed all around the city come alive, killing everyone. You, however, cannot be killed by them, as they only shoot a non-lethal fire blast, but you also cannot kill them. The Jarl will race to the lake house to activate the time portal, sealing you in a time loop until the quest is completed correctly.
You must stop this from happening.
You there. Where did you come from?
What are you talking about? I've never met you.
There are multiple endings and a numerous amount of ways to get to those endings. Some methods might actually require you to break the dwarves' law in order to obtain an item or a piece of information, then travel back in time with that item or newly discovered method to advance the investigation. It's a very cool idea and a genius game mechanic that is very reminiscent of Majora's Mask's 3-day time loop. I'll have to stop here as to not spoil the story for those of you who have not played this amazing mod. I will, however, highlight some of the non-story related aspects of this mod that I loved. Now, let's start off with the things you're going to be spending the most amount of time looking at: the visuals and environments. This mod is gorgeous. It's like looking at George Surratt's A Sunday Afternoon for the first time in person. Or like Jessica Alba in any movie, and if you think differently, then come fight me. I'll be waiting at the park, you know which one. A great amount of effort went into making this mod look good at every moment. On a macro scale, every building and structure is crafted expertly and is spaced out in a practical manner. With a critical eye, however, you'll see the elements, both large and small, that make each location so visually appealing. The lighting in each area is used tactfully not only to make areas look good, but also to establish a definitive tone. Dimly lit areas with heavy shadows and select sources of light accompanied by particle effects, smoke, or fog look foreboding, gloomy, and ancient. The city in the daytime looks peaceful and friendly, while at night it's calm and quiet. I actually found it really pleasant to walk around at night with only the city's house lights to illuminate my path. Items, effects, and terrain are placed meticulously and purposefully in each room or level. This tells us more about a character, a place, or the city itself. This level of detail demonstrates not only polished level design, but also demonstrates a sort of visual storytelling. My favorite example to show what I'm talking all about is this underwater cavern you may get to explore in your playthrough. When I initially stumbled upon it, I was stunned. Ruins from the city above scatter the cavern floor, presumably here from a natural disaster or an extreme instance of breaking the dwarves' law. Glowing gemstones protrude from the rock walls, and artifacts, skeletons, and treasures decorate the scene. The lights from the exit bounces off each shiny surface and casts the shadows of fish swimming near it on your return trip. For me, this scene sparked feelings of intrigue and wonder, making me want to explore even further. It's beautiful. Now, if you look closely, of course, you'll see some flaws. However, none of them take away from the artistic and fine detail put into the visuals of this mod and its overall majesty. This mod looks incredible. And while we're at it, it also sounds incredible. Throughout this mod and this video, you will hear original songs composed by the artist Trent Moriarty, whose link will be in the description so you can hear some of the other songs he's composed. They're very good. The music paired with the several locations and events perfectly encapsulates the tones associated with those game elements. The darker areas have a haunting, ancient, eerie feel. The main city's music is tranquil, and the score for Breaking the Dwarves' Law is straight up apocalyptic. Before researching this mod, I had no idea this was originally made by an independent musician. I was convinced this was music from another game or from a movie. The level of quality in these tracks is easily on par with the music of those big budget games and films. Admittedly, these songs faded into the background of the game when I first played, but listening to each song individually while editing this video made me realize how masterfully done each song was. It would be criminal not to appreciate the songs that accompany this mod, as they truly help elevate it to masterpiece status. Now let's shift over to something that is a little more interactive: the gameplay. Gameplay is great simply because it's far from vanilla Skyrim's bland quest style. It doesn't hold your hand through the entire thing, and is ultimately dependent on the player's desire to explore and interact with the world. There are no quest markers on your compass, and no character will tell you directly what to do or where to go next. Each avenue you explore is a reasonable choice based on the information you've gathered, any actions you've done, and some choices are even based on your own morality. How you deduce which objective is worth completing is based entirely on character interaction and, again, the player's desire to explore the outcome of that objective. Additionally, there are some parts where you will have to play a bit unorthodox, like solve a jumping puzzle, or, like I said before, break the dwarves' law for something important and then go back in time. There is a bit of combat in this mod, but dialogue and character interaction are more emphasized and encouraged. So it's probably a good idea to take the time to get to know some of the fine folk of the Forgotten City, which leads me to the next section, the characters. I think that one of the best parts of this mod are the NPCs. All of them are uniquely personalized and well written. On top of that, each of them is fully voiced by a professional voice actor coming from different parts of the world. I truly believe each and every one of them did a fantastic job. Their voices help establish their characters' unique personalities, motivations, and stories. Some were able to really capture a character's emotion and convey it convincingly. For example, listening to Gulliver's tragic story was enthralling. I sat there listening to every word of his tale to the end simply because of the voice actor's performance.
My home was burned to rubble. My family slaughtered like cattle. And they left me alive to see what they'd done.
Another great character is the tavern owner, Rastasia, who is openly flirtatious and gossipy, which the voice actor totally nails.
I heard you took care of some looters for us. If only there was something I could do to thank you. Let me know if you think of anything.
Characters also have their own personal dilemmas and quarrels with the world, society, and the city, which may lean into their motivations to potentially break the dwarves' law. Is it the couple who reveal they are tired of the Jarl and his cronies discriminating on the workers and dream of an uprising? Or maybe it's the dark elf whose wife suddenly disappeared and has repeatedly dodged questions of the matter. Or maybe it's the self-appointed town's guard who walks the city with his weapon drawn, growing more and more paranoid from the supposedly glaring dwarven statues. Whatever the case may be, they are all cleverly written and the dialogue feels natural, so you won't be eliminating any possible suspects until you get their full story, which take you down some very entertaining subplots. Now, all these elements are great by themselves, the visuals, music, gameplay, and characters, but at the core of this mod, the thing that ties them all together, and what makes this mod truly remarkable, is the writing. The story is solid and does a fantastic job weaving in all the things you can do in this mod and places you can go. Additionally, most questions a player might have are answered in a way that is reasonable with the mod's rules and story. If you were super critical, you could poke holes in the writing. Like, you could argue that the actions of some characters would realistically break the dwarves' law and how it would be impossible for them to get away with it. But these issues can be explained with some critical thinking and don't derail the story at all. I was genuinely captivated by it, had fun playing through it, and even had fun thinking through aspects of it. It did a good job of drawing me in not only to the narrative, but also the world. Plus, after playing through this mod and witnessing several possible endings, I was left reflecting on the choices I made and whether or not those choices were morally correct and made sense realistically. I won't get into detail as I may risk spoiling the story. I will say that any piece of work that makes you think a little deeper or wonder a bit after the credits roll is a sign of remarkably made art. And thankfully this writing was recognized as something truly special. The mod author, Nick James Pierce, was awarded an Australian Writers Guild Award in 2016, making this the first mod in history to ever win an award of this caliber. These awards typically go to writers of major motion pictures, television, and theater. It's certainly worthy of the bestowment. This mod is truly on par with some of the best and brilliant storytelling in those mediums. I couldn't believe that this type of content wasn't made by a game studio with a team of writers, developers, and a sizable amount of money to spend. Nope, just one man that spent over 1,700 hours to craft this masterpiece and show how powerful video game modding can be. This is content that is on the same level, and I would argue even better, as official DLC, and it's free. It was never made for profit. It was made simply out of passion, and it shows. Pierce has moved on from modding and now leads a small game studio known as the Modern Storyteller. They are working on a reimagining of this mod in a new standalone game of the same name, The Forgotten City. It's scheduled for release in late 2020, and from the trailer footage and press it's received so far, I'm excited to see how Pierce tops this story with full creative freedom. But for now, if you haven't played Skyrim's Forgotten City, I highly recommend checking it out. It's only 133 megabytes. It's a 4 to 6 hour experience, and it will not conflict with any mods in even the craziest load order. You may get some jank from graphic enhancing mods, but nothing truly game breaking. This mod is a masterpiece. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I really hope you give this mod a shot. Thanks for watching. My name is Efrain. Adios.